Swinburne podcasts. The academic procession is about to enter the hall. Would you please stand? Would you please remain standing for the national anthem? The words for the anthem on the inside cover of your program.
Home is
Thank you. Please be seated. It is now my pleasure to introduce the presiding officer of today's ceremony, Mr. Bill Scales, AO, Chancellor of Swinburne University of Technology.
Members of the University Council, members of staff, distinguished guests, graduands, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you all here to this graduation and award conferral ceremony, which acknowledges the achievements of so many of you and which represents a significant step in your process of lifelong learning. As a mark of respect to Australia's Indigenous people, Swinburne University of Technology acknowledges the Wurundjeri people as the traditional custodians of the land where we now meet to conduct this most important ceremony. On the occasion of this ceremony, the Council and staff wish to share their pride and their congratulations with the graduands on their achievement. For all of us, this ceremony is a very special occasion. For the graduands, it means the culmination of years of study, hard work and achievement. For the parents, families and friends of graduands, it means that all the sacrifices which you have made and all the support which you have provided have now finally been rewarded. I'm sure that you, like us, feel a great sense of pride and happiness in seeing your friend or your family member succeed in this way. We are, of course, pleased that so many of you have been able to attend to make this such a special occasion. It's also particularly special because I know, as does the staff, that many of you have come from many parts of Australia and some have come from many parts of the world. So if you're new to Melbourne, new to Australia, we welcome you. You are part now of the Swinburne family. So welcome. For the teaching and administrative staff of the university, there is enormous satisfaction in seeing our students successfully complete their studies. But this is also an important occasion for the university. Swinburne prides itself in the quality of the teaching and learning which it provides. This wonderful celebration gives public recognition of Swinburne's ongoing commitment to provide our students with a range of high-quality educational qualifications. These qualifications will assist them in making an ongoing contribution to their chosen profession. But very important for Swinburne, because of our 100 years of heritage is centred in the community, it will also give them the ability to make their very special contribution to their own chosen community. Swinburne also is committed to being both a nationally and an internationally recognised institution where our programs are relevant to the world community as well as to Australia. We're committed to this goal because increasingly, and our graduates sitting here today will be no exception to this rule, our graduates are required to work outside of Australia and establish successful international careers. And many of you will do just exactly that. It is now with great pleasure that I introduce Professor Andrew Flitman, Deputy Vice-Chancellor Research of Swinburne University of Technology, to deliver today's occasional address.
Thank you, Chancellor, distinguished guests, graduands. I'd like to start actually by particularly recognising families and friends, colleagues, lecturers, supervisors, behind every person that walks across this stage in a few minutes, there's a story of effort, a story of sacrifice, of hard work, of support, and you should all be rightfully proud of your contribution to that. I suspect for many of these people, these are the first in their family to actually be graduating from a university, so please be very proud. Now, you would expect somebody in my job to have been to very many graduation ceremonies, and I have, but a bit like when I was younger and I was worried about my hair falling out, I always kind of hoped I would not have to give the speaking address today. I always hoped it would be tomorrow, and I've managed to succeed up to now. My hair fell out much sooner, but today is actually my first occasional address, and so my job, if you like, has caught up with me. My friends and colleagues understood that I was quite nervous about doing this. It is something new to me. My colleague who is presenting at tonight's occasional address offered to lend me his. It's brilliant. You're missing out by not actually going tonight. I'm sorry about that. It's brilliant, but I would not have done it justice by repeating his brilliant words. I considered also borrowing words from other famous speeches, friends, Swinburnians, countrymen, lend me your ears, that kind of thing. I have a dream. Again, I don't think I'd do quite as well as the people that actually sort of deliver those lines first. One of my colleagues behind me on stage, Mike Zabike, said, all you've got to do is be piffy and brilliant. So that was a big help. So I was still left with, well, what am I going to talk about today? And that has caused me to think about what has a university degree actually given me. My undergraduate degree is in mathematics, a very traditional British degree, and what I do now for a living is a million miles from my mathematics degree. I would not use 2% of what I actually learnt in terms of my theory in my day-to-day work. But nevertheless, the degree has been enormously helpful to me, and it sort of led me to thinking that really what's happened and what the degree has actually enabled me to do is to be able to strengthen my ability to think laterally, think differently, and it isn't so much just the fact that you're walking away with very sellable skills straight from your degree, which is something I didn't do with my maths degree, but you will also have developed those abilities to think laterally and think of new solutions to problems. When I first came to Swinburne a couple of years ago, I tried to lead a one-man campaign to change the university's Latin motto. The Latin motto, I notice, is on the mace. Factum per literis, I think, means achievement through learning. Latin was one of the useless things I did in my undergraduate degree. I tried to change it. In fact, I started trying to change it at a first presentation I gave at Lilydale, to Melorium modum bananum apparire scio, which is, I know a different way of opening a banana. So here's a banana. Career-limiting move this could be, because the boss is standing to my right. I'm going to show you a different way to peel this banana, and then hopefully you'll see the point. Most of us know that the only way to peel a banana is at the handle end, right? Everybody does that. But actually, and I have a side benefit that I get to eat after I've demonstrated this. If you pinch at the other end and peel that way, you get a whole banana, okay? I've had hours of arguments with people saying that's actually not better, but that's not the point. It's a different way of doing it, and I would actually contend that that is better. And it's really, what a degree gives you is that ability to think laterally, to think differently. I somehow don't think the university will change its Latin motto, but nevertheless, it's something you get, but you probably don't even realise that it's being built into your degree throughout your degree. The staff that are sitting behind me, the staff that work at all of our campuses, all undertake research and teaching. My role is Deputy Vice-Chancellor of Research, so I'm in charge of the research for the university. So I see the great research that is undertaken. And those people that are doing that great research, and I'll give you a few examples in a second, are the very same people that teach you, Perhaps they don't. Perhaps the exact same people aren't teaching you every subject, but they're certainly engaging with those people that are, and all academics undertake research. So they're all basically building into the way they teach you, the way they impart knowledge, an ability to think laterally. And believe me, when I think back, that really was the greatest thing that has come out of my degree, much more than the mathematics skills, which I did hone. So what sort of research has the university been undertaking? Give you some feel for the way that our researchers have been pushing boundaries, thinking differently. And I should say that after my attempt at a Latin phrase for the motto, the marketing people at the university actually came up with a much more pithy way of saying it. If you look around the university on the billboards, there is the signs, "Question everything." And what a university degree does, and what a Swinburne degree does, is give you the ability to objectively question everything. You may see in the Australian every few months a supplement called Swinburne, which largely talks about a lot of the successes our academics and our PhD students and our undergraduate students have had in questioning everything and pushing back boundaries. If I would just think of a few examples, I could talk for hours on this. You'll be happy to know I won't. You may have recently heard in the newspapers, and it was on the front page of Nature magazine, research at Swinburne has led to the ability to store the equivalent of 20,000 DVD movies on a single disc. 20,000 Blu-ray, I should say, movies on a single disc. Quite amazing, an absolute quantum change. The way that's happened, the way it's achieved, is by actually storing the data in 5 dimensions. Now, that just blows my mind, okay? But it's storing the data not in 3 dimensions, but in 5 dimensions. And obviously is getting a lot of attention from electronics manufacturers and made for newspapers in the UK and in the United States. I'm recovering from jet lag. I'm not a very good jet lag recoverer, so I'm very interested in the work on circadian rhythms, which is taking place just up the road, where they're looking at the relation between disturbing those and disorders, and we're working with Beyond Blue on that. Janet Gregory, who I was talking to shortly before coming on stage and will be presenting the graduates, has just won a major Australian government grant to look into the issues surrounding what happens when women, who are now increasingly a greater part of the workforce, actually come to retire, because it's a big structural shift in what is happening, and she's working with a number of super companies, with major banks in looking at that. We have other researchers which are looking at introducing good business concepts to the way that detection work happens with the Victorian Police. We have other research looking at making cars lighter by having aluminium foam and making a big impact on the next generation of planes for the RAAF. Well, last couple of examples I'd like to give. Another example of the work of research that's happening at Lilydale is the fact that we have 2 PhD students in creative writing, the first 2 students in creative writing graduating with a PhD, the pinnacle of research training, looking at, if you like, at creative writing and trying to learn from the theory of creative writing so that people become better and more interesting and more informed readers and writers in the future. A fantastic achievement. The last example, and maybe in some ways the one with the biggest headline, is the work we're doing on improving the solar panel efficiency. So we are heavily involved in negotiations with Suntech, the world's largest producer of photovoltaic solar panels. We have technology that can half the price and double the efficiency of solar panels. The net result looks like it will be that a manufacturing plant will be built in Victoria with many hundreds of jobs and licensed throughout the world. All these are examples of people that have taught you, and therefore implicitly or explicitly have taught you how to think differently, to push back the barriers. Normally, about this time in a graduation speech is the time to wheel out the big guns. When I come out with a really clever speech, typically from a Jesuit priest or maybe a Greek philosopher. And I was trying to think of one this morning, but unfortunately for me, the Beatles came on the radio. And so the only thing that stuck in my head were the lines from this Beatles song. Nothing you can know that isn't known. Nothing you can make that can't be made. No one you can save that can't be saved. Nothing you can see that isn't shown. Very clever song. The point about clearly is that we know more than we did 100 years ago. We can save more people than we did 100 years ago. But all those sorts of things, those boundaries that were enunciated by John Lennon in the lyrics to that song, really have been pushed back by people who actually do question everything. Corny line, all you need is Swinburne. So that in some ways represents what a university degree actually does give you and what it can give you. The university is committed to continually question everything. A lot of those examples of research that I talked about just then involved collaboration. Hardly any researchers these days sit in ivory towers. I think every single example I gave involved people working with other people. And you can see your university's commitment to working with other people in a number of physical as well as actual projects. So at Lilydale, for example, on your campus, we have just completed the building of research space inside the hub that will enable people to collaborate. And it's when people collaborate and they talk to each other that new ideas spark. So again, enabling them to question everything. If we walk up the road after this ceremony, you will see a very big building, like a very huge Lego thing going up over there. $130 million Advanced Technology Centre is designed to encourage people and organisations and researchers from Australia and around the world to collaborate with our staff and also to give our staff the best equipment to enable them to question everything. So that is really what a university degree gave me, and that's what a university degree has given you too. Honestly, my warmest congratulations. It's an enormous achievement. Hopefully, the next time you peel a banana or you hear the Beatles, you'll sort of ponder a second and think, this is what the Swinburne degree gave me. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Flitman, for your insightful comments to our graduates today. I now call upon Ms Toni Kilsby, Director of Student Operations, to in fact verify that the graduates listed in the program are eligible to receive their awards.
Chancellor, I have the honour to inform you that in accordance with Statute 13 of Swinburne University of Technology, the graduates who will be presented at this ceremony or who have applied to have their award conferred in absentia have fulfilled the conditions prescribed and are entitled to the award of bachelor degree, graduate certificate, graduate diploma, master degree and Doctor of Philosophy as appropriate of Swinburne University of Technology.
I'm always relieved when she says that, I must say. Would all graduates please now stand for the conferral of awards? By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Council of Swinburne University of Technology, I admit the duly authorised graduates here present and those in absentia to the appropriate awards and to the rights and privileges of those awards. Congratulations, well done. Graduates, please sit down. Thank you. I now call upon Associate Professor Janet Gregory, the Deputy Dean of the Faculty of Higher Education, Lilydale, to present her graduates.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the graduates on whom you have conferred an award for the Bachelor of Business. Brendan James Ackfield. David Adams. Ali Senzigali. Kylie Marie Orpress. Carly Marie Antoniadis. Stuart William Baker. Laura Michelle Barnes. Nicholas Lauer Bursbrook. Sandra Monica Sepulveda Black. Tarquin James Booth. Celeste Jade Bridges. Biljana Kapik. Rebecca Lee Carlton. Benjamin James Cash. Drew Rodney Cummings. Joanne Darcy. Caroline Isabel Dickinson. Robert John Dold. Azmi Falla. Gilbert John Fernandez. Marcus Hughes. Natalie Rebecca Hughes. Siren Ilya. Daniela Urick. Sean Cardane, sorry. Marina Krybell. Kevin John Paul Kurtz. Wee Van Ma. Mohammed Azad Mohammed Mazouk. Choeng Kim Nuth. Vasha Prasad. Troy Shortis. Gurnindapal Singh. Ryan Wayne Solomon. John Andrew Stapleton. Wei Keen Fatima Jolene Tan. Timothy James Wallace. Yu Wang. Emma Wilcox. Candice Williamson. Gail Joanne Clements. Kevin Paylong Kui. Aaron William Fiander. Kelly Lee Hames. Sue Dow Huin. Irvin Ibby. Dean Anthony Coimsis. Mancy Quatra. Marilyn Liu. Philip Hoynam Mack. Rachel Emma McInnes. Mohammed Imran Mohammed Farouk. Mahinthan Mohanatis. Philip James Seath. Kim Sheldrake. Niset August Suve. Ji Shun Tong. Rory James Wood. For the Bachelor of Business in Accounting and Advanced Diploma of Business in Accounting, Ryan William Elias. Ryan Daniel Katzen. Taryn Della Lawrence. For the Bachelor of Business in E-Commerce, Jing Bian. Yi Feng Fan. Cameron Mark Anthony Fryer. Christopher Justin Lee. Jinyi Zhang. For the Bachelor of Business in Tourism and Management, Rachel Davis. Lauren Adele De Luca. Brodie Luke Hylett. Rebecca Ann Morgan. Kei Yi Pang. Anna Yaroslavskaya. For the Bachelor of Business in Tourism and Management and Diploma of Hospitality and Management, Ricky Alexandra Bush. Melissa Catherine Vardy. For the Bachelor of Business and Advanced Diploma of Business in Accounting, Matthew Yu Mun Kuan. For the Bachelor of Business and Advanced Diploma of Business in Marketing, Fiona Jane Black. Ivan Gridchin. Angus Edward Stone. For the Bachelor of Social Science, Jocelyn Marie Biront. Scylla Bubix. Cheryl Ann Carter. Nicole Marie Galovic. Vicky Marie Lack. Monique Zoe Mitchell. Kate Michelle Story. Scott Adam Van Ekeris. For the Bachelor of Social Science and Diploma of Community Services in Welfare Studies, Kimberly Jane Richardson. For the Bachelor of Technology in Information Systems, Andrew Meek. For the Bachelor of Technology in Interactive Multimedia, Adrian Chiobanu. For the Graduate Certificate of Technology in Business System Design and Management, Maxwell John Healy. For the Master of Arts in Writing, Jacqueline Elizabeth Hare. Matthew Gordon Lane. Stephen Andrew Nicholson. For the Master of Business in E-Business and Communication, Darren Mark Margerson. Mohammed Abdul Rob. For the Master of Technology in Business Systems Design and Management, Adip Vikash Naidu. Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the graduates on whom you have conferred the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. For the Doctor of Philosophy, Carolyn Beasley. The title of Dr. Beasley's thesis is The Fingerprint Thief, a crime novel and exegesis. Carolyn Beasley's practice-led PhD consists of two elements: a crime novel titled The Fingerprint Thief and an accompanying exegesis discussing the techniques and creative pathways utilised when creating the novel. The novel is set in 1990s Melbourne and follows a fingerprinter's investigation of the murder of a young anthropology student. The exegesis explores key writerly choices, such as why the novel is considered crime fiction, whether the writer privileged plot or character, and how a writer can represent groups that society has othered. Combined, the two works offer both a practical and theoretical exploration of how writers create fiction. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Carolyn Beasley for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the next graduate on whom you have conferred the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Elizabeth Diane Colbert. The title of Dr. Colbert's thesis is Speaking the Unspoken, the Ontology of Writing a Novel. Speaking the Unspoken explores writerly identity through a practice-led research model in which experiential knowledge of creative and academic writing were embedded in the structure, voice and characters of a novel, The Fragility Papers. The creative writing process was documented in a working journal, reflected upon and subsequently theorised in the accompanying exegesis. The research led to a reshaping of the writer's creative writing practice, a questioning of the ascribed roles of conscious and unconscious activity in creative and academic writing, and a challenging of intertextual theory through the acknowledgement of physical and sensed inscriptions in bringing the imagined into language. Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Elizabeth Diane Colbert for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Chancellor, that concludes the awards for the Faculty of Higher Education, Lilydale. I now call upon Mr. Tarquin Booth, who graduated today with a Bachelor of Business, to speak on behalf of the graduates.
Chancellor, members of the University Council, distinguished guests, fellow graduates, ladies and gentlemen. I'd firstly like to thank Swinburne for giving me this opportunity to thank and acknowledge those people who have helped all of us, the students, achieve what we have here today. On behalf of the students graduating today, I'd like to thank the staff of the university for the friendly assistance, support and guidance they have provided us throughout our years of study. We appreciate all you've done for us. While the experience of studying at Swinburne may have at times been challenging, it has also been very enjoyable, rewarding and memorable. We will all take away with us skills and knowledge that will assist us in our future endeavours. For all of us, this is a very proud moment and something we have worked towards for a very long time. We are very proud to be here in front of you now, celebrating our success. I'd now like to take this opportunity to thank, most importantly, all of our families and friends for their support during our studies. You've been there from the beginning, you've shared the same goals and kept us focused. So we thank you, and we are very honoured to have you here sharing this moment with us. And finally, may we have every success in whatever we do now, whether it be developing a career or continuing with our studies. Whatever we go on to do, I'm sure the knowledge, experience and friendships we've gained during our studies will help us whichever path we choose. Well done and good luck.
And thank you, Tarquin. To Swinburne graduates, I know that today is the culmination of years of hard work, and that during this time you've had the encouragement and help of friends and family. On yours and the university's behalf, I wish to thank them for their support of you while you've been studying here with us at Swinburne. I'm absolutely sure that they, like us, are incredibly proud of everything that you've achieved so far in your life. Graduates, I'm going to ask you to now stand, turn around and face your family and friends and join me in thanking them with applause for what they've done for you. Let's thank them. Thank you, graduates. Please resume your seats. Graduates, I also wish to take this opportunity, and I'm sure you would want me to do so, to thank on your behalf the teaching and administrative staff of the university for their contribution to your education here at Swinburne. Could I ask all of the staff to please rise? Graduates, let's thank them for their help. Thank you very much. Graduates, I do hope that you will consider that this is just really the beginning of your lifelong association with us here at Swinburne. Education is a continuing process, and I do hope that many of you will return to Swinburne to further your studies. I would also encourage you to participate in the activities of the Swinburne Alumni Association. The Alumni Association has groups in many different parts of the world. So even if you're leaving Melbourne, that does not mean that you have to end your association with us here at Swinburne. The Alumni Association is created for you. It's there for you, to support you in your career as it develops, to encourage you also to stay in touch with each other, because what we know from our own life experiences is that you will actually need each other as you're developing your careers. And your friends and those that you have made during your time as a student will be invaluable supports to you. They will give you guidance, they will help you to see through various issues. So the Alumni Association clearly is not the only one that you will draw on, but it is an important one. So you should consider the possibility of somehow staying in touch through that mechanism which we've tried to create to suit you and to support you. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all members of Swinburne, I offer our congratulations to all who have received an award today. Well done. We're incredibly proud of you. We know you will achieve enormous things in your life. Go for it. Go for it. Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the formal part of this Swinburne graduation and award conferral ceremony, and thank you very much for being with us today to make it such a special occasion for all of these wonderful people that you see here in front of us. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the members of Council and the university community, I'd like to invite you to join us all for refreshments which will be served in the Chandelier Room this afternoon. Would you please now stand while the official party, the academic procession and the procession of graduates leaves the hall. Thank you very much.